New commitment for Notre Dame in the 2026 class, a tight end from Ohio picking the Fighting Irish over Miami, Iowa, and others. We're going to talk about it in this video, but please go ahead and hit the thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel if you are new here, and go to blueandgold.com for much more on this commitment. In the news is Preston Fryzel from Toledo Central Catholic committing to the Fighting Irish. Not a high industry ranking right now, as the number 744 overall player, number 40 tight end. But wanted to point out On3's ranking of him as the number 17 tight end. And for what it's worth, the number 16 tight end is a 4-star. So Fryzel, really good receiving tight end, 6'4", 215 to 220 pounds. Tim, we talked about him on a recent live show, and his film is a lot of fun to watch. So if you're a stargazer, you have your opinion, but when you pop on the film, you can see why Notre Dame likes him. And I'll talk about his recruitment in a minute. But Tim, like, what do you think when you watch his film?
Big wide receiver who's going to be a slot tight end. He's going to
Yeah.
be one of those motion tight ends, those H-backs, those guys that are always shifting all over the place. Especially Mike Denbrock. He loves the motion, little zip zap, and then kick out ends. When they run their inside zone, and then you could just definitely see this guy being a hash to hash inside the numbers type of a wide receiver who's going to just cause matchups problems on nickels, slot corners, that type of match, smaller safeties. And then he's definitely a guy you could flex out if you ever have to, which Notre Dame does often, flex out a true wide receiver and get him the ball out there as a receiving tight end. Great ball skills. There's a couple plays in here. What his one-handed catches are just like, holy moly.
Yeah.
Unbelievable athlete. So the ball skills just jump out. This guy's got amazing hands. You're able to do anything you want with him. 6'4". I mean, this one right here is one of my favorite ones. Just like
that's insane.
I mean, that's just a tremendous athlete.
Yeah.
Balance, hand-eye coordination to catch a pass like that as he's getting hit in the chest.
Oh, that's terrible coverage.
I mean, even this one, a great to be able to manage the ball over the top of that guy diving at it. So his ball skills are elite. Like you said, Mike, he's basically one spot away from being a blue chip on the On3.
Yeah.
His film is like that. We see this each and every year. There's these guys get recruited. They go through the spring, little summer eval, recruit, and they shoot up.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of these guys because he's a big receiver that's going to translate to that NFL Notre Dame tight end type of a model that they have.
If Notre Dame took this kid as a wide receiver, or if like we said, hey, this is a new receiver commit for Notre Dame, no one would bat an eye. No one would be like, are you sure he's not a like I maybe that would be brought up, but I feel like
Jaden Thomas. He's like a big Jaden Thomas type of a big wide receiver who could play anywhere out there on the field.
That little move off the ball, off the line of scrimmage, like he looks awesome on tape. He is an instant favorite for me. Notre Dame offered him in May. I believe it was actually Mike Martin, Notre Dame's general manager, went to Toledo Central Catholic and saw him in person. Mike Martin bringing some of those NFL scouting skills to the recruiting front, and Notre Dame then offered him. Like, listen, there's no denying this was a plan B type of guy. Like, Notre Dame offered their tight ends in January, then they offered Matt Ludwig in the end of March, and they lost out on some guys, and they needed to offer some more, and they did, and they got their guy. I think this is a really good get for the Irish. If this is your plan B, like this is a plan A, like talent, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think this is a nice get. Tim, real quick before I throw it back to you, officially visited the weekend of June 13th, and it's my understanding he gave pretty strong indication early in that visit that he was going to commit to Notre Dame, and Iowa was on him. That's a good sign if you're recruiting the tight end position. And then Miami was another recent offer, and he visited the Hurricanes in early June, and they were after him. But yeah, this one's all Notre Dame.
No, I was going to say exactly that. You got an Iowa offer, done deal. Miami has a great track record of sending tight ends to the NFL. They just had one drafted last year. So it just goes back to the ball skills. And if anything, when you get with tight ends, yes, we're tight end you, ND, loves to say tight end you, the history, all that. But not everyone Notre Dame's ever recruited has been a 5-star who's gone to the NFL. So you got a lot of middle-of-the-road guys that have worked. And I also think that's the culture, the history of Notre Dame tight ends where you're going to Notre Dame to play tight end. Those guys are going to work their tails off to uphold that tradition. So, and I totally see this with him because of the skill sets that he has as a receiver. Mike Denbrock, I mean, he had it especially at LSU, at tight, and then Cincinnati as well, utilizing those guys. Started that with Evans until he got injured. I think we're going to see that from Eli Raridon a lot in 2025. And then obviously, talking about Taylor, that we had at LSU was a heck of a wide receiver / tight end slot receiver for them out there. So great ball skills. I mean, he's a lot of fun. Really looking forward to getting him at South Bend. 6'4". You could see his frame out there. So weight room, you could definitely picture a guy who's 6'4", 6'4.5" in that 235 range, working over the middle. So very exciting. Almost like a Holden. I just thought of Holden State. Same type of size. Holden obviously had some good games for Notre Dame before he transferred out, but as an athlete, same type of a player who could go hash to hash.
I love that. Holden stays from my neck of the woods in Atlanta, so I saw him working out as a wide receiver. I think that's a good comparison. The thing I like about Fryzel so much is that he is I feel like he's a high floor, high ceiling, which is a rare thing, right? You don't say that a ton. Whereas I think at the least, he's just a really solid pass catching, tight end where you're not going to ask him to block a ton, but he can split out and do some things for you in the slot. But at best, like Tim, this kid bulks up and learns how to block and can be a do-it-all with that receiving talent. Sky's the limit for this kid. I truly feel that. So if you're a stargazer, you're like, Mike, you're really trying to sell me on a 3-star, whatever. I don't care. Your opinion, what you think is not going to influence my belief that I'm buying all the stock on this kid.
We'll just also look at the NFL draft. The NFL draft's loaded with guys no one's ever heard of, and they get drafted. So you see this each and every year. And I think you're right. Going back to Mike Martin, the new general manager, seeing him in person, utilizing, some of that scouting, that he has, obviously his long career in the NFL. So that's what's exciting with the new GM, new emphasis on scouting, trying to use some of the metrics that they're using out there. And you go find a hidden gem. Sometimes, hey, you tip your hat, give him a high five and say, let's go see what this guy does. He's bringing hands catching ability to Notre Dame's pass game, and that's what's really exciting.
Yeah, you just said the term hidden gem. So a hidden gem for Notre Dame has offers from Iowa, Michigan State, North Carolina, Louisville, Wisconsin, Miami, Auburn, Cincinnati, West Virginia. That's not bad. Yeah. Like this kid, I don't know, man. I'm pretty excited about him. And Irish fans, I think you should be too. So hit the thumbs up on this video, subscribe if you're new here, and go to blueandgold.com. Check out more on this commitment. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. And as always, we'll catch you next time.